Bankers make me nervous, and I hate sounding like an idiot. I have a meeting with the banker about this house soon, about the loan that's basically going to sink or swim us, my wife and I. And I know there's going to be language that I should understand and I won't. And I know basically my fate is in someone else's hands. That there's going to be, paper and pen and adding machines and calculators involved and terminology that I understand and I don't understand. And there's going to be just a very placid look in a person with a coat and tie, looking at me, basically deciding what's going to happen possibly for the rest of my life. And it makes me nauseous to even think about it, that once again, I've lost control of my own life, that I'm not the decision maker. I'm not the one that's going to decide what happens to me. And right now, a banker, a person who I don't get. I don't know why you'd want to do that. It's important, and obviously it's important I'm involved with one. And I have a meeting coming up, and everything is riding on it. It can be 10 words that decides basically the rest of my life.
The first paragraph could stand as written and could constitute the entire story. I told Pete to put the rest of the type in the hell box, and I went over to the case and set a short head in 10-point. Bonnie divorce granted, to replace the 24-point head that had been on the longer story. I handed Pete the stick and watched he switched heads. I think it's about printing.
I didn't understand a word of that.
They probably have to read more of the story. I've been picking it up in bits and pieces.
The Bonnie divorce.
I thought about that front page while I washed my hands. The front page, shades of Hecht and MacArthur, poor revolving Horace Greenlee. Now I really wanted to drink. I think I like this.
Oh, I like that last line.
Oh gosh. I can read, but definitely not for long. There's just that sleepy influence on me. Okay, well, good night.
Good night.
Barry, how are you?
It's a little bit fine.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
No problem.
Welcome. All right, you beating the heat out there?
It's not easy.
I tell you what, I don't know what people did before air conditioning down here. All right, so Alan has given me your file. I've got your revenues, I've got your income statements, your balance sheet, your last year's tax returns. Talk to me about your business. How's it going?
Well, it's going okay.
Yeah?
Doing all right.
Well, I know you've got a pretty significant loan request to the bank to help you out for your capital, for some income, for some of the deferred maintenance issues that you need to get done. The bed and breakfast part of it, I think, is obviously struggling within this economy. Tourism is down in the community. Your revenues are off. We've had an appraisal done, and the fact is you don't have enough revenues to cover the debt service of this new loan request.
Well, I mean, as you know, the economy is cyclical, so I'd like to think that any business that's struggling in an economy like this can be looked at when things turn around. A business will turn around, and hopefully the asset is strong enough.
Well, you do have a lot of underlying value there because of the home's historic value and its historic worth. But because you've taken so many dollars out of the operation of the business over the years, you have not keeping up your deferred maintenance, priorities. And I'm going to need to see a revised business plan based on new marketing ideas, sprucing up your landscaping and your curb appeal. And these are things that you've got to think of in terms of, if you're able to get a marketing plan in place so that you can attract greater occupancy numbers and a higher revenue per room, what is that going to translate to in terms of cash-on-cash return? These are the things that you need to think about, but I can't make any guarantees.
But I'm still in play. I mean, I'm still alive with this.
Well, as long as Cousin It doesn't answer the door when I come by to see you next week, we might be able to work something out. But I think it's going to be difficult. I really think you need to talk to your wife, talk to any relatives you can think of, and if not, then get back with me, and then maybe I can forward you some names of some potential capital investors to help you out. But it's going to be tough. Okay? I got another appointment. Let me walk you out. Thank you. Right this way. After you.
So the guest doesn't trip over. Okay. All right. Good night, girls. Good night. Such a good time. Such a good time with the interns.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
What were you guys doing?
Like dominoes and made animal noises. Scooter would have been very proud of us. No.
Trying to get him replaced?
No, they're really good girls. So you chose them well.
What do you think, Scooter? You like them? They wore you out, huh?
Yeah, but they bring a lot of good feeling to the house, and I'm really glad they're here.
All right. If you say so. But now you're all tuckered.
Yeah.
Welcome to my world. It's really interesting being in this room perpendicular.
Why's that?
It just gives a whole new perspective.
Hmm.
I'm really worried about Brittany finding out about the actual condition of our finances concerning our bed and breakfast business and our home. It's one of those things where you shouldn't conceal it, that this is bad, that this is your life partner, this is your business partner. And I guess it's just my fear of failure, or being perceived a failure, having gone through divorce before, having gone through losing this money before, losing a home before. You just don't want to admit that you've done it again, that this is happening again. I don't know what her reaction, it'd be stupid to think what her reaction wouldn't be, but I don't know if this would be the famous final blow of our relationship. I don't want to tell her. I don't want her to know. I'm hoping I can somehow pull this out at the last minute.
And then fold it that way towards you.
Okay.
Towards you. Okay, great. And then we're going to go ahead and fold this over. And then fold it one more time. Okay. So, really, I was really thinking this way. And same thing with you. Look.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Oh.
So now we're going to have to wash that one. That's not very
Oh.
sanitary to put a napkin on your head.
Sorry.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi. I got a little question. We have, correct me if I'm wrong, we have one guest here tonight,
Yeah.
and they're in their late 60s, I think, early 70s. We have one guest, and you're making snack treats.
Well, the weekend's coming up. I mean, it's early in the week.
Well, so you think we're going to get some calls mysteriously, and this will suffice? This will be a good thing that you're preparing?
We just try to do the best we can. I don't know what you want from us. We've got to have some sort of snacks for the guests. This is one of the best
A
things
lot
we've
of the
been
other
written up
B&Bs,
for.
they offer a snack when the guests come in. We haven't seen our check.
Well, it's a very simple process. Guests come into the B&B, they pay me, I pay you. It's called synergy.
Synergy. Before that, it was called a salary.
Ooh, thank you. Any more? Here, I'll bring the lemonade back for you. Okay, thanks. How long do we have to fold these napkins?
My best friend 5 years ago committed suicide. He and I talked about it actually for years. We were both very, very in sync with the whole concept of, do you have the right and the choice to kill yourself? We were both diagnosed a long time ago as being bipolar, so we had that in common. We dealt with suicidal feelings constantly, and we talked about it constantly. He tried killing himself once before with pills and alcohol, and it basically destroyed his liver, and it was so painful he called it off. It wasn't the way he meant to do it. And then he researched it, for the next 2 years, and he shared his research with me. He found, the best way to do it that he thought that would, one, guarantee it painless. He called me one night, and people have said that you can tell when a person has made that decision because there's a calmness in their voice. And I heard that calmness from Jim, and I knew what he was going to do, and I could tell when he said goodbye and that he loved me. I knew that was the last time I was going to hear from him. And 2 days later, I got a call from his ex-wife, and the minute I heard her voice, I knew what she was calling about. And she and his friends had basically, for lack of a better word, a party to try to celebrate his life. And these were, we were living in different cities at the time, and these were all the friends that he had in that city. And so I drove there, and I had actually known him longer than anybody. And I, stupidly, I guess, revealed that I knew he was going to kill himself. I mean, not that he said it, but I knew. And almost everybody in that room became hysterical with crying and hatred towards me. How dare I not interfere or do something or say something or call someone? And I told him, I just think this is a right we have. We can choose when we're going to die, and he chose, and I didn't want to interfere with that. It wasn't my place. And I struggle with it every day, and one of the last things he said to me before he hung up that phone is that he goes, do you want the website? He used cyanide. He goes, do you want the website that I found, to get cyanide? And I thought about it, and I said no, even though I struggle with this all the time, and I've thought about suicide multiple times in my life. And I know if I have the access or the means to it, it's why I never carry a gun, because I know in one split second I would use it. And maybe I really didn't want to if I thought about it 10 seconds later.
What's she thinking?
Huh?
What's she thinking? You've been quiet the whole time.
Not thinking of anything.
Huh? Maybe you should get creative. I'm exhausted.
Man, things are just getting weird around here sometimes. Walked into the kitchen earlier today, got Holly and Chris cooking up some kind of strange snacks or with cereal and marshmallows or...
They're experimenting in the kitchen?
I don't know what they were doing. It's just, they were just, we don't, there's only one guest here and they have this huge bowl full of crap and that they're just concentrating this and I don't know what they're doing. So I'm not quite sure why they were doing that and who they thought they was going to...
Did a guest request it, or?
Well, when I brought it up, they didn't say that. That might have changed it a little bit. I adored my maternal grandmother. She had a really hard life. Her parents died when she was 17, or actually really young, much younger than that, and her older sister raised her. And she was so much tougher than her parents could have been that she got married when she was 17 just to get out of the house. Her husband was a really, really mean person, and he developed Alzheimer's really, really young, and my grandmother had to take care of him. He died, didn't leave her any money. He owned some drugstores that went out of business, and she remarried about a year or two later. And this was a very nice man. Unfortunately, he was an alcoholic, and he died 9 months after their wedding in a drunk driving accident. She had one child, my mother, and she absolutely adored my mother. And then, of course, when my sister and I were born, we became her world. And then my mother died very young, when she was only 49, and my grandmother was destroyed. I've never met anyone who did unconditional love like she did. When I went away to summer camp, she would send me brownies and individually wrap every single one. I mean, dozens of brownies that she called her labor of love.
That's our phone. And I get to the bottom of the escalator and I look at this guy again and I realize this is my boyfriend. This is Chris. And I'm so excited, I just light up, but there's this huge glass panel separating us. And he looks over at me and we make eye contact and we go, oh my God. And we start running through Charles de Gaulle, trying to get to each other through this glass panel. You're looking at your partner and you're like, oh my God, I gotta get to you. So we run through and we make a horrible scene in the airport. Everybody sees us running. And it is France, though, so they understand love, I guess, and they kind of are really excited for us, and we're running. We finally get to the place where the doors are opening, and we're like about to run into each other, and we realize there's security everywhere, and we're not allowed to run to each other. So it was this huge, beautiful buildup, and we're gonna have this great, epic embrace, and we can't. We're just frozen. And everybody knows if we cross that line, we will get arrested. He will get arrested, or I will get arrested. It will be bad.
I'm gonna water the plants out in the front. Don't worry about them. I'll take care of them for today.
Okay,
So,
great.
Just keep her happy and let me know if I can help you with anything.
Okay.
Hi,
Mr. Norman, how are you doing?
Mr. Bell.
Good to see you.
You too.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
How can I help you?
Well, I came by just to look around the place a little bit, if that's okay.
Look around the place. What does that entail? What's this exactly for?
Well, bank, before they really can approve the loan, they need me to do a walkthrough of some kind.
Okay, a walkthrough. I guess I'm not quite clear. What will that entail?
Just basically me looking around the place. I really need access to everything, electrical, plumbing, basement, foundation, attic, roof.
This is kind of strange, a little last minute since we're looking at Friday for the deadline. I'm surprised I didn't get an appointment for that.
Well, as you mentioned, we're on a short timeline, and it's really necessary for us to do the walkthrough today.
All right. Okay, come on in.
Thank you.
It's the American way. It's the American way.
And that includes the front and the back?
And no, that doesn't include the back. We're just talking about the front.
Okay.
And all I need right now is a deposit that's half up front, and then
Oh.
a contract whenever you can sign.
Okay, just for that.
Just for that.
And you could start soon then.
I can start tomorrow if you need to.
That would work great. Because we really need the work out here. And that would work ideal.
I'd love to have the work.
That would work so much.
You're positive. You're positive it's $30,000. Okay, yes, it's 1877 silver dollar. It's an O. Okay, right. Thank you very much.
And with a single hasty glance seemed to dive into my eyes. Miss Erie, I beg your pardon. The fact is, once for all, I don't wish to treat you like an inferior. That is, I claim only a century's advance in experience. This is legitimate. idol would say.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I could have sworn I heard reading when I thought you were supposed to be cleaning. Am I wrong?
I'm clean.
You're cleaning, okay, and you're reading, out of curiosity, what?
Jane Eyre?
Jane Eyre. You're here because you're part of an internship and I'm going to write a recommendation. What do you think that recommendation is going to be? Clean it!
God, so uptight. I just took a break. Good Lord. Comes in here. Here. Let me look like I'm doing something. Yeah, straighten the, yeah, there you go. Cannot wait till this stupid job is done. We're not even getting paid. Dope. We should just quit right now. I'm so sick of his attitude. Yeah, screw it. Man, get out of here.
Hey,
Hey,
any idea what it is?
I have absolutely no idea.
No idea? Not even gonna hazard a guess?
It's a ball and it's black. That could be anything.
Ball. What do you think it's made out of?
From here, it looks like either velvets.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You try it on now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Luxury of you can bring a rock to life. The under-worshipped goddess now is opening her arms, soft at all her corners, just so hard at the heart.
That's working. Keep going.
Can't fly in it, but beautiful.
This is gonna take some getting used to. The moment comes of truth and you didn't choke. To spring from bitter roots could have been a great hope. Popping from the barrel, the flag that unrolls says it's a joke. This is what it means to dry up on the vine. Go directly now to sea to get blown down the highway. Unraveling your dream, the tape will not rewind.
Unconditional love has become a problem for me. And the funny thing is, I've experienced it. I know exactly what it's like. And I guess the problem I have with it is that it's always temporary one way or another. Now, my mother loved me unconditionally, and she died young. My grandmother, I mean, nobody loved anyone like she did. I got embarrassed by it. I one time told her that when we were watching the news one night a long time ago, and it was a story about how kids are doing drugs, and she thought that was terrible. And I said, well, I do drugs too. And she just looked at me for the longest time. She goes, but you do it in an inoffensive fashion. And I realized right then that this is the type of love that there's nothing you can say or do that will prevent them from loving you. And for a while there, I thought my first wife and I had that. And of course, that completely deteriorated, and I found out that it was a lie. So I found out that unconditional love that I think I'm feeling isn't true at all. I can take physical pain. I mean, there's not much you can do to me physically that I probably can't endure. But I just can't take too much more of the emotional pain, and that's the pain you feel when you allow yourself to love. And if you can't allow yourself to love someone else, you're not allowing yourself to receive it. You're keeping them at an arm's distance. We've never talked about this, but I sense that she senses it. She feels that she's not getting everything she can from me, or that she should from me, or that she deserves from me. And I want to give her that. I mean, if you marry someone, that's what you're promising them. I mean, there's no other reason to do it. I mean, you can be a girlfriend, boyfriend. You can just have it just stay at a certain level where you still might be committed, but you've just prevented yourself from going to that next level. That's that final destination where you're saying, this is it. You and I are just as one, and when one feels, so does the other. And I know I'm not doing that. I'm just too afraid to allow myself. And it's unfair. It's unfair to both of us. I'm cheating myself. I'm cheating her.
Hey.
Took care of the flowers in the front hall, cleaned up. That should be all taken care of.
Great, great.
Looks like you got everything under control in here.
Yeah,
Good
we're
deal.
moving along, yeah.
Okay, so no crispy rice treats for you today, huh?
You know, I don't know, out of nowhere, Perry was getting on to us about making Rice Krispie treats.
Did you get angry about what happened?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, practically he kind of freaked out on us a little bit about it, you know. We're just making some treats, getting ready for the weekend, and he starts going on about how we're throwing money away, there's no guests, you know. I mean, sure, it's the middle of the week, you know, the weekend's coming, and I hate to even say this too, but, you know, I mean, he hasn't been keeping up with our paychecks, you know, at all either, these past couple weeks.
He hasn't paid you.
No, it's been 2 weeks now. We brought it up, and he said he explained this thing, you know, about he hasn't had any guests, so he can't do that, and it's like a synergy or something like that. He said synergy. Yeah, that was his thing.
Synergy. Okay. Obviously, I thought I was up to date with things. We supposed to talk as a couple, as trusting a partner relationship in this business, and obviously there's things he's not telling me. I'm gonna have to talk with him. I'm so sorry I did that for you, but
thank you.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, sure.
Head around the corner.
Hey, come here for a sec. What exactly are you doing?
Measuring the wall.
For
New gravel.
new gravel, okay. And why are you doing that?
Well, I spoke to your wife, and she's decided she doesn't like the way things look around here, and she's trying to neaten the place up.
So she ordered this today.
Yes, sir.
And how much is this going to cost?
Well, my first estimate, and I've just completed, it's going to be right around $1,500.
$1,500.
Yeah.
And my wife authorized this.
Yeah, she's already written a check to me for half.
She wrote a check for half.
Yes, sir, it's already in the bank.
Okay, this isn't happening. We can't afford this. We really don't need this right now. I'm gonna have to get that check back.
Non-refundable, I explained that to the wife.
Non-refundable?
Yeah.
If you don't do the service, then it absolutely is refundable.
Not in the contract she signed.
She signed a contract.
Yeah.
Both of us have to sign a contract together. That's null and void. So I can take you to any court here and get that money back. Let's avoid that and just give me the money back.
Any court here, I've been working here for who knows how long. My father owned this business before I did. There's a reputation here. This has happened many a time. And I've never given the money back. Ever.
But we're not talking about reputation. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm saying that the contract isn't good. Both of us had to sign a contract before it's worth anything. Let me ask you this. On the check, did it say Claremont House B&B?
It was a personal check.
It was a personal check.
Your wife's name was on it.
And it cleared.
Clear. One thing I've realized about America, we're a place of excess. And I learned this really by travels through China. You know, I grew up in the South, always loved my big glass of sweet tea. Got to China, and they poured me this little glass that's no more than about an inch tall, and as hot as you can imagine. Pick up that glass and they ask you to sip it as fast as you can, aspirate it, take it down quick. And moments later you have this wonderful cooling and sweet sensation that emanates from your throat. And I just realized how much of a consumer I am. How much I consume when I only need just a little bit to get the same effect, the same satisfaction.
All right. How's the wife?
She's doing well, spending time with the kids at the
She
pool
keeping you
all
straight?
summer. As much as can be expected.
All right. So what'd you find out?
Well, unfortunately, the house seems to be structurally sound in the foundation. Everything looks to be fine with the plumbing and the pipes. However, in the time I was there, I also noticed that there seemed to be only one guest at the house this week. So
Really?
that doesn't bode well for the business.
Well,
to where it's maybe unsustainable.
I pulled it just before we came in here, and looks like he's, based on his budget, he doesn't have any revenue to operate on for probably more than another couple of weeks.
Well, that's good.
That's what I'm saying.
So, what do you think our timeline is after we deny the loan to turn around and demolish and bulldoze the house?
Well, what will happen is we can bring in our investors, we can sell them the paper, give them the debt, and then they can initiate foreclosure proceedings. We can rid our hands of it, and then our bank will be ready to loan those dollars to our investor for the construction and development of the condominium project that he has already designed and ready to go on that site. It'll probably take him 10 to 12 months to build the project, and you know, we've got there are fees in his construction budget to take care of everybody that needs to be taken care of.
That's fantastic.
That's what I'm talking about.
What are you doing?
Well, this helps relieve some of the pain in my knuckles. Breaks up the scar tissue or something.
Is it possible for you to do some home remedy without the popping while I'm reading?
Sure. Sorry.
What's gotten into you? What is this? What's this new thing? Are you just trying to start like a new way to release your stress with people and poppers and whatever?
I'm just trying to do anything to make my hands and knuckles feel better. If it's something new that helps, then why not?
For all the work you're doing around the house, I'm sure your hands hurt a lot.
Hey, just getting older, your hands hurt. My hands hurt. What can I tell you?
Do your hands hurt from all the checks that you're writing to our cooks in the kitchen?
What are you getting at?
I'm getting at the conversation that I had with Chris in the kitchen earlier.
Which was?
Which was him having a wife and child and not having gotten their paychecks for 2 weeks.
Hey, how can I write checks on money that we don't have because we don't have guests in here? I mean, I'm not trying to stiff anybody, but we can't just write checks that are going to bounce. They knew the story when we hired them.
Does this story include this, I'm sorry, what was the S word? This corporate term that we're throwing around all of a sudden that I've never even heard. What was it? Synergy.
Is this a pop quiz? I'm supposed to explain everything I
It should
say?
be a pop quiz. I don't even know where it came from. Are you watching Jeopardy now and picking up corporate America terms? What does that even mean?
I don't have to answer what it means. I talked to them because we didn't have money to pay them, and they still have room and board here, and you know that we're going to get to them as soon as I can, as soon as there's money here. I can't pay what I don't have. And they kind of knew that when they took this job, that this was going to be a collective, that we're all kind of in this together.
Well, that's understandable. It's not even about that you can't pay. Okay, I know sometimes money gets short. That's fine. We sometimes have guests, we sometimes don't.
Well,
but it wasn't just about that. Chris, you started getting an attitude with him, a nasty, angry attitude. He doesn't deserve that.
Well, you make a
They've
good
been
point.
very loyal. They've never been adverse or angry around us.
Well, you make a good point about money getting short. Money apparently doesn't always get short.
Did you hear me what I just said, though? It's not even just about the money.
Well,
What's
now-
with your attitude
Well,
towards
now hear what
them?
I'm about to say. I mean, what's with you writing checks to
Don't turn it towards me.
You're talking about money here, so I'm just keeping the same subject.
And you're avoiding the issue of me talking about Chris.
This is the same issue. You're saying I'm not writing a check to Chris, and you are writing checks to landscapers on your account. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, I have some money. What's the problem with that? I'm putting it towards the house. I'm not going on frivolous shopping extravaganzas.
But you're mad at me because I'm not writing checks that we don't have in the account that I'm managing the B&B. And I'm upset because you are writing checks to people that I don't know anything about. So I think we have no money. We obviously do have money. And you're mad at me because I don't pay people because we don't have the money, and we have the money to go to a landscaper. I was married once before, and my first wife knew exactly what she was doing when she married me. She had a plan, and the plan all centered on us buying a house together in the mountains of Colorado. This served several purposes. She was doing a master's degree, and she said it was too far for her to commute, so she would stay upstate and only come down for the weekends. This served the purpose because she actually had a boyfriend upstate, so that gave her a reason to stay up there. Second, she was dating a lawyer before she met me, and she obviously understood the difference between marital assets and premarital assets. The only way to purchase that house was I would have to convert all of my premarital assets, all of my stocks and things like that, to buy the house, which of course is what I did. She also knew me well enough by that time to realize I would put her name on the mortgage, so now we both own the house. And it served one other purpose. She also knew that once we had some extra money after buying the house, that I would take care of certain things that she was doing, like pay for her master's degree, finish paying off her car, pay off her motorcycle, and other things that she wanted, things like she wanted a fur coat, she wanted diamonds, she wanted gold pendants, all of which I bought because that's how I felt about her. And of course, then after she finished her master's degree, she immediately asked for divorce, and she realized that all of my equity, everything I owned was tied up in the house. I had two choices. I could either give her the money to get her name off of the mortgage so I would own the house free or clear, or give her the house if I didn't want to pay the mortgage myself. I was too afraid to just pay her off. I wanted the house. Everything I had before that was tied up into it. So of course I decided to keep it, which buried me financially because I was young when I bought it. I way overpaid for it, and when I finally had to sell it, I didn't want to live in the mountains all by myself after I was divorced. I sold it for a huge loss.
All right, now just remember, I want you to let me do the talking, all right? And if I ask you something, then respond. But I'm going to talk to Mr. Norman, all right?
Okay.
What's on your mind?
Well, Mr. Norman, the reason we're here today is I was hoping we could have kind of a nice civil discussion about the letter that you wrote to the agency regarding the girls. And I understand if you had a problem, you're an employer, some disciplinary action is appropriate, but the letter that you sent has now just blasted them, and they are no longer eligible for the scholarship, which is the whole reason they were working here in the first place. And I was wondering if you would mind contacting the agency and telling them that you know, you were upset at the time, you retract the letter, say something that will, you know, get these girls back in the good graces again.
Well, if I retract the letter, that means I'm basically lying. I mean, you're a businessman, you own your own business. What would you do if anyone, whether they're your daughters, whether they're interns or your paid employees, if they were basically not doing what they were supposed to do? And this is not back-breaking work I'm asking them to do. This is just the basic cleaning that they're supposed to do around here. And I find one of them reading, the other one basically dancing with a mop, not doing anything. I'm not here to, okay, let me.
The scholarship is worth $30,000. I didn't want to bring this up, okay? But I have friends at the bank, all right? I know what's going on with this place, and I will guarantee you, if you keep that letter in their file, you will never get a loan on this place.
Oh, so now I'm getting threats now. Now because
No,
I write a letter.
that's not a threat.
That's
Just
not,
a
what was
fact.
that? That's not a threat?
I don't think you treated them fairly.
I
don't think
friends
you
at
should
the
be
bank?
treated fairly, okay?
Barry, I don't want to interrupt, but I've been listening to this conversation from the other side out here.
Who are you?
Well, I'm a friend of Barry's, and also,
I have friends too.
yeah, and
Sorry.
and I'm not trying to pick sides here. I can understand these ladies' situation. I can understand you being their father and wanting to see things turn out right. But also, I see Barry's side of it. This is a business. I have a couple businesses myself, and I can't allow people to just be sitting around and not do anything. This is a whole lot, this is a big different situation. These girls are working for free, heard that part of it. The one thing I didn't like about the whole conversation, sir, and this is just something we learned in negotiation business, there's several things like Brink. You just did the Brink just about. You pulled out the deal about the bank. Where when you pull out something like, well, I'm gonna threaten you with the bank, you don't have any other, you can't go any farther. You can't say I'm gonna get the president of the bank or something like that.
All right, I get what you're saying. I'll tell you what. If you'll consider retracting the letter, I'll talk to Alan. I'll see him at the club tomorrow. I know that you would like to have the loan on this property. I will do everything in my power to see that Alan helps you get the loan. All I'm asking is that you retract the letter.
So,
I don't care if you gotta lie.
Let me just make sure I understand this. I retract or write a new letter, and you're gonna go to the banker, Alan, and see if you can get me, you know how much money we're talking about here?
I have an idea.
You're gonna work with him, try to get me the loan that I need.
That's right.
All right.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
My father was a puzzle wrapped in an enigma. I spent my entire life trying to figure out exactly what could motivate this man to be the way he was. He was a pathological liar in which he would just deny things that you actually saw him do. I mean, you can see him pick his nose, and you say, why'd you just pick his nose? And his finger could be up his nose, and he'd say, I'm not doing it. And he would mean it. He was a large man. When I was a kid, I thought he was the largest man on earth, even though I eventually grew taller than he was, and he was a fat man. But of course, when you're a kid, you don't see it as fat, you just see it as, this is the biggest man alive. He was scary that way. He had a violent temper, and he had a look that when he was mad at you, he would tuck his lower lip in, and when you saw that, you knew you were in big trouble. But he also had this jovial side. Maybe that was the fat man in him, and my sister and I, when we were young, would always ask him to do the twist so we can watch his belly jiggle, and he would always accommodate us. My mother died when I was very young. I had just turned 11 years old, but we had a fantastic relationship. Every night before I would go to sleep, we would do two things. First, we would have a conversation. We would talk about things. I remember being 5, 6 years old, talking about things like, what is out there? What does the sky mean? What does life mean? It was just wonderful to have that type of connection with your mother so young, where you feel that she's actually talking with you as a person. And she would sing me a song that she actually wrote and made up herself. I don't even know if she did this with my sister, but in my mind, I'd like to think that was just between she and I. It was just what we hold together.
Barry, I love you, man.
I love you too,
I love you, Barry. No matter what, I'll stand behind you.
Man, I appreciate that.
Okay? You're my best friend, man. You're the only friend I got.
You remember those. We got those when we were in Florence a couple of years back. Now that they're packed, I'm wearing them.
Okay. With whose feet?
Would you mind? As long as they're there and my feet are here?
If I recall, Princess, they don't fit.
For $800, I'll make them fit.
I'm not a child anymore.
Come on. They're just shoes. I like them. I miss them.
We have frivolous loafers sitting in the closet of the bathroom as a trophy under things.
It would be a lot more frivolous to throw them out since they cost $800. So wouldn't it make a lot more sense to get some use out of them?
Use.
Yeah. Use, like putting them on. See, I'll show you. Oh, that's not so bad. I can wear this.
Can you breathe?
Well, through my nose. Oh, come on, look at them. Tell me they don't turn you on.
They don't turn me on.
Well, I know you're lying.
So you told me to say.
Well.
Alan.
Greg, how are you doing? Welcome.
Great, good to see you. Hey, I appreciate you meeting with me here on such short notice. You here going over things with the house?
I am. Sure. Like a water?
Oh, yeah, thanks. So, how's it looking? The house in good shape, or?
The house is in decent shape, but Barry has no collateral. I don't think there's any way that the bank can give him a loan.
Oh, really? Ironically, that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. I was hoping that, you and I have known each other a long time, and, I wanted to kind of ask you, is there anything you might do to help him in this situation? Because it's kind of all the guy has is his house.
Right. Well, maybe 10 years ago we could have done this, but the condition banks are in now, I just don't think there's any way. We have to provide a lot more protection for the bank's assets, and we can't take that much risk.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm not here to really talk to you as a banker today. I'm here to talk to you as a friend. And I need to know, is there anything you can do to help Barry keep this house? Anything you can do as a friend?
Greg, in order for someone to take on this project, they would have to have a lot of collateral. They would have to have great managerial background, and they would have to have a good relationship with the business community.
And how do you think I fit those qualifications? What if we were to take over management of the Claremont house?
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
You guys would be interested in taking over this house and running it as a bed and breakfast?
Well, we'd set up a limited partnership. I can't guarantee it would stay in place as a bed and breakfast, but I'm very interested in this property.
Greg, I don't understand. This is completely out of the blue. This is completely contrary to everything that you've worked for as a businessman. This is contrary to the bank's analysis. This makes no sense.
I've got an idea for what I can do with Claremont House to make it hugely successful. That's all I'm going to say.
Greg, I have another appointment. I'll talk to you later.
All right, I will be in touch.
Yes?
Mr. Ledbetter Allen on line 1.
Put him on, please. Alan. Yeah. What? The Claremont deal?
All right, I'll be there soon.
It was probably the luckiest day of my life. It so happened that I was chasing a ball down, and as I was running down a ball on the front wall, I tripped and I fell. I fell into the front wall, but seeing that I was falling into the front wall, I threw up my arm and my racket, and all it did was hit my head, split my skin to the skull. Thank the Lord I wasn't knocked out. Found out that I had a hard head, but I didn't have the neck to go with it. My opponent yelled, "Stand, don't move," just like a drill sergeant. I said, well, I wonder what his concern is. Then I rolled slightly, and I knew. Had shooting pains in all 4 limbs. I said, uh-oh, I broke my neck. While I was laying there, I started seeing this pool of blood grow around my head. And you've seen movies And everybody who ever has this laying in a pool of blood growing around their head, they die. Hardest thing I ever did that day, is I made a very conscious decision to lay in that pool of blood and watch it grow. I was comforted, thank the Lord. The guy that ran the racquetball club there happened to have EMT training, and I'll never feel like that day when he came in and he put on a pair of surgical gloves and held my head together. And I said, my Lord, I'm not going to die. This is my lucky day.
He asked me if he could help Barry out. I told him, there's nothing we could do. And then he came up and he said he was interested in the property. Would the bank back him?
Parnell was there?
He was there. We had a meeting in the house.
What? How does a guy, a player like Parnell, know somebody like Barry? How did we miss that?
I have no idea what the connection there is, but I don't understand why he's even interested in the house. It doesn't make any sense.
There's got to be something. I mean, this guy is he's a multi. I wish we had his banking business. This guy is capable. He can do whatever he wants. He could write a check for the entire mortgage right now, and our whole deal would be screwed.
It messes up everything.
Yeah, this is unbelievable.
Just found this in the garbage. Any idea how it got there?
I put it there. I put it there.
This meant something. It means nothing to you, I get that. But how would you like it if I went through things that belong to you and I made the decision for you that this is taking up room, it's old, it's ratty, and I'm just going to throw it away?
Does that mean more than the priorities that we have generally in our life now as a married couple, that we've moved beyond that?
What is
we have
that?
adult responsibilities, and it's an old mask
It's
from
an
an old
old-
party,
you're-
and it's falling apart.
You're absolutely right. It's an old mask and it's falling apart, and it has nothing to do with priorities. This doesn't go over anything else. It's something in addition to everything else. The fly was something that I wore on a night that we had a really, really good time. I mean, little things like that is what makes relationships work. A little thing that means nothing to anybody else, but it has some meaning for us. This is a piece of time regarding us. I don't understand why it means nothing to you, but that's the way you feel about it, fine. But I feel differently about it.
I don't know. I feel more so of like, I love you, and I respect you. I do. But just the maturity level right now of caring. Yes, I care about our relationship, but we need to move on from simple things that try to represent our love in the place of a dilapidated fly mask.
Sometimes simple things is all you have. Sometimes it's the best of what you have.
Simple things is all we have.
I'm saying sometimes, not every, I mean, everything has its own intrinsic moment. And yes, you're right, all the other things that are going on, this doesn't mean that much. But it means enough. It means enough to me. And to me, that should be enough for you.
Okay. I will not put it in the trash again.
Thank you. I never got a chance to grow up with my sister. She was 3 years older than me, and of course when you're older, you don't want to spend time with your punk, snot-nosed little brother. Our mother died when we were young, and she kind of came off the rails after that. She started hanging around with people a lot older than she was, getting into drugs a little bit early, and our father didn't know how to handle her at all, and he started beating her severely. He would take her in the room, and I would just hear her screaming and him hitting her. I was terrified by this and partially relieved that it was her that he was doing this to and not me. She started running away from home a lot then, and I hardly ever saw her, and when she did come home, my dad would put her into private school, and during grade school, I rarely saw her at all. Finally, when she was 15, my dad decided to put her into a mental institution. She was there for a year. She spent her 16th birthday there, and I never visited her there. My dad never wanted me to. While she was there, my dad remarried, and the person that he remarried had 2 kids, one my age, one 2 years older, and our wonderful stepmother didn't want our dad to have anything to do with us, and the first thing that she did was kick my sister out of the house. So she just gets out of the institution, she's just a little over 16, and she gets booted out. She goes to California, and I don't see her at all for a couple of years. I'm going through high school, and since she's only 3 years older than me, this is the time we should have had 1 year in common together. This should have been a time where I could at least depend a little bit on having an older sister in high school. I was small and skinny and picked on a lot, and it would have been nice to have a sibling there. After high school and college, I went away to college, so I didn't see her at that point. And then my first job, I moved 2,000 miles away from home because I didn't want to be anywhere near my father or anyone else like that. And once again, I rarely saw her. I came home once in a while, and I said hi to her a couple of times. She called me then at one point. And she told me that she was diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease. And I came home to see her then, and I didn't really know what Hodgkin's disease was, so I had a medical library and I looked it up. But just knowing that my sister had some form of cancer was just horrible. And her life really went down after that. Before she had Hodgkin's disease, she actually got things together. She got into college on her own. She finished up in 3 years. She then, on her own, got a job working as the administrative assistant for the executive director of a very prominent college, working for the former ambassador of Honduras. So completely on her own, she was doing really, really well, and I was very happy for her and proud of her. And that's when she got Hodgkin's disease, and then the executive director passed away, and the school decided they couldn't retain her anymore. So she really never worked much after that. She just was too depressed and felt that things were just aligned up too much against her. And then, once again, she called me, and actually she didn't call me, her oncologist called me and told me that she'd been fighting for 6 years, and now that the cancer was terminal. And our father was at that point very, very elderly, and he had dementia and very sick, and he really couldn't help her much. She never got married, didn't have a boyfriend, she didn't have anybody. And I just could not let her, I couldn't let her die alone. So I went down to visit her, to spend her last days with her. And it's the last thing she said to me was, I'm sorry, Beth. With everything she went through, she felt that the thing that she had to get out more than anything else was to apologize.
Greg Parnell.
Right.
How are you?
It's good to meet you.
Such a great pleasure to finally meet you.
At last, huh?
Gosh, I mean, I've heard so many stories about our families.
Yep.
You know, it's been a great desire of mine to get you over here and tell you what we do here at our bank. I mean, we'd love to have some of your business.
Well, that's super. You may have that opportunity today.
That's what I hear. Tell me about your interest in the Claremont House.
Well, I can't go into all the details, but let me just say that I believe that the Claremont House has huge significance to the Masonic community, to the community at large, and even to the state and possibly the country. And everyone is in on this. When I showed them some of the drawings I had made of the symbols, they understood the significance. I believe that at one point in time, it was the center of Masonic society for the entire South. It's that rich.
Truly.
It's that rich.
What has your conversation been with Barry?
You know, it's really almost irrelevant. And my conversation with him revolved around my daughters. So my goal would be to step in, buy the note from you, and essentially become his new mortgage banker, get him out of there because it's obvious he's not going to be able to continue to make payments to you or to me or anyone else. All I'm asking is for you to sell us a note, and we'll assume full responsibility for what takes place from that point on.
And you would agree to purchase this note at par?
We would purchase a note at par value, plus any interest or penalties that Barry may owe on the note at this point in time.
And closing costs?
And closing costs. So, are you on board with this?
I'm faced with a major dilemma now of basically losing everything that's important to me. This house, which is my home and my business, and when that goes, there's a strong possibility my wife goes with it. I mean, I picked myself up so many times in the past when things went wrong, after my first divorce, after losing jobs. You'd think it would get easier because you have the experience, you have the reference of which to relate to it and say, okay, this is how I got through it before, this is what I need to do now, this is how I can get past this. I have no idea what I'm going to do this time. I guess I wanted to cocoon myself into an illusion that it can't happen again. I mean, I've learned from my mistakes. I'm not going to lose everything that's important to me. I have no earthly clue what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go, how I'm going to live my life. I guess I'm just trying to not even think about it because it's just too overwhelming. There's just too much involved with that. It's trying to figure out how I'm going to go on and go forward and what I'm going to do, and if my life is going to have any elements of joy in it. I really have no idea, and the more I think about it, the less I can think about it. It almost paralyzes me to the point where I can't move and I can't think and I can't breathe.
It's a beautiful place. I can't believe I've never been here.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess we just don't get out as much as we used to. This is nice.
Well, talking about changes and new places anyway, what happened with the interns?
Oh, well, they just weren't working out. They weren't working. I mean, I would catch them reading and just slacking off, so I just had enough of it, so I got rid of them.
I thought you had them under control and were helping direct them.
They're interns. I mean, I understand you're not getting paid, so they don't have the motivation, but they knew what they were supposed to do when they got there. It just didn't seem a good idea. I just didn't see why they were putting this effort, you know, and energy into these treats. I mean, who's going to eat them? I mean, they're just not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I can't even put my finger on it, but there's just something going on with them that's...
So it's a conspiracy, is what you're saying?
No, it's not a conspiracy.
And it was a part of the conspiracy that I put your mask in the trash. That we're all against you.
No.
So we can't trust the people who we're living with. We can't trust our workers. We have a strange man walking around the halls.
He's not a strange man. He works at the bank. I mean, that's not that big a deal. I mean, there's a lot of business around here, and he works at one of the banks in town. So he comes into the B&B. You know, what's so unusual about that? I mean, people do come in. You know, local businesses will just come by every now and again. I mean, that's what happens in smaller towns.
So this strange man is just a banker here on banking business, yet he's walking around with a flashlight, which I don't even know how is related to money and banking, and going into the basement and exploring. Is he into archaeology banking, or?
He's a banker. He's a banker that can approve or not approve a loan. I've been working.
That's his business. That's his business if he has to deal with a loan. Why bring it into our house, our place of business?
Because the place is about to go under. I've been trying to get a loan from him all week. More than 1 week.
Our place?
Yes. I've been trying to prevent the place from getting foreclosed, from them taking it away from us. I've been trying to get this loan, and I've been working with them and doing everything that they've been asking to try to prevent this from happening. And I didn't want you to know about it because I didn't want you to worry, because it was on me. I mean, I was the one who was mostly in charge. This was me. I had to make a run of it. I had to make a go of it.
Are you getting the loan or not?
We're not getting the loan. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They're coming in today and foreclosing. We're losing the bed and breakfast today.
Why
I'm sorry.
Why are we here and not trying to do
I
something
did everything
helpful?
that we could do. What else was there to do? I mean, if I was able to do this and not worry you and not make you this problem all week, I mean, what good was that going to do?
So you're giving up, is what you're saying. We're giving up.
We don't have a choice. I'm sorry.
How are you going to be responsible with the rest of our relationship if this continues? If we're just getting foreclosed and you let me know the last day. The last day! Well, am I supposed to sleep on the street tonight?
Walk into my room, ask me jerky questions. Don't mean what you say. Immaculate protection. Play by all the rules. So close to the best. Hope that all's not lost. And this is not a waste. Stay just as far from me as me from you. Make sure that you are sure of everything I do. 'Cause I'm not. Your academy. Your academy.
I heard that your music was going well, and Not that I want to take advantage of our friendship that, we used to have, but when I was 12, I went with my mom to stay with my grandmother at her cottage in the mountains of Colorado. And by that cabin was a beautiful mountain stream, rushing cold water, great boulders, and that was my place of solace. That's where I spent my day playing and loving around it. I've always been attracted to water my whole life. It's a point of energy, of solace, of peace of mind to me. So that is where I love to go. My grandmother knew this. She respected me enough, even at my young age, that she knew I would take care of myself, but she always kept an eye on me. Well, one of the days, I went with my mom to go to the ski slopes. We were going to be gone all day, and my mom had told my grandmother that we were going to be gone. I believe that my grandmother forgot this point. She was thinking my mom was just going to be out all day. So as we're coming back from the slopes, my mom gets a call from my grandmother. And she said, "Mary, if you're driving, please pull over. I need to tell you something. Something's gone really horribly wrong." And my mom, interested, she said, "Okay, well, what? What's wrong?" She said, "Well, we have dogs out on the ground. We have helicopters, and we've been searching the stream all day. We can't find Brittany." Okay, thank you. Mr. Roberts, good to see you today.
Thank you.
I'm Brittany Norman, as you know. We spoke at some length about the Claremont House account. And I wanted to let you know personally that even though we have had some money issues in the past, we have found a remedy. It will be taken care of by midnight tonight. You will have the $10,000 in the account deposited for the mortgage. I know it's last minute and unexpected, but I did want to let you know personally so that there was no confusion or so. So, Mr. Roberts, thank you.
Hey, Greg, it's Bill. You need to get over to my office as soon as you can. Yeah, thanks.
Bill!
Hi, Greg.
Hey, I came as soon as you called. How are you?
Yeah, fine.
So, it's about the Norman place. So, good news?
You're not going to believe this.
What?
She says she can come up with the cash.
Who's she?
Brittany.
Brittany Norman is going to come up with the cash?
She was just
Well,
in my
what
office.
a crock. I no more believe that than a man in the moon. When did they call?
She was here when I called. She had just left when I called.
You're telling me that suddenly this money materialized and Brittany Norman is coming in to pay off the note?
She said it'd be in the bank by midnight.
You can't let this go through. You don't know what this means.
I don't think she can make it happen, but...
So let's just say, hypothetically, she gets here and somehow deposits the money. Can it be posted late? No one's here at midnight. Therefore, how could it be stamped at midnight? They come in the morning, they make the deposits, they stamp it in the morning. End of story.
Well, she'll be filmed when it's dropped, and it's timed, dated.
Okay, what about a camera glitch? a power outage. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. I know this sounds stupid, but I'm serious.
I
We
understand
can't let
the
this
dilemma,
go
and
through.
I understand the significance, but it's out of my hands, and there's nothing the bank can do to intervene at this point. It's the decision was made to give her a 12 midnight deadline for $10,000 in cash, and that's kind of where we are.
Well, I'm not done with this yet.
This is not a photograph. This is not a photograph. And these are not the Elijah fields. This is not a photograph. This is not a bigot's head, no. This is not a photograph. This is not a photograph. Just a perpendicular line to the ground. This is not a photograph. This wants to be outside the cage of the earth. This is not a photograph. This is not a bigot's land. This is not a photograph. You're so easily moved.
You don't know how much this means to me.
Well, I got it.
Luck arrives, luck survives. Walk to the beach.